Hey guys, welcome back to the channel once again. This is part 5 of building the Bell 429. I did say at the end of the last video that next time you see this it'll all be filled and sanded and crap, but I thought, you know what, it's a build video. You know, I'm doing this so you can see the process of me doing, you know, the build of the whole thing. So I've got this here. This is the Volden deep gap filler. I don't know if you can see that in the light. Deep gap lightweight filler it is. You can get this from B&Q in the UK. I imagine places like Lowe's and whatnot in the States will probably do this. It's a bit like micro balloons. It's very like thin, tiny little like beads of filler mixed in with a glue. As you can see, it's quite pliable. Building sandcastles in the snow. And anyway, this is what I'll be using to fill it. It's awesome for aircraft. Wicks do their own version of this as well. Excuse me. Exactly the same stuff. Oh dear, excuse me very much. Yeah, it's exactly the same stuff, and it's about 11 quid for a tub this size, but it goes a long way. So yeah, let's crack on with it. I'm gonna drink my coffee out my Vulcan mug, and then let's start filling, shall we? It'll be time lapse because it'll be boring as shit if you do it in normal time, but yeah, let's get on with it. Right gang, even though that was in time lapse, it was still probably pretty long, so I'll even speed up the time lapse. But as you can see, I just caked it all on, tried to fill in the worst of the crevices and whatnot, but just slapped it all on. Paid particular attention around here, around the nose and where the windows are going to be, because I need this to be as perfect as possible. But I mean already, because I mean it's probably about 90 degrees in here at the moment because I've got the temperature up high with me feeling the way that I am. But already it's starting to go off. But I'm going to leave it to go off overnight, and that way then when I come to it tomorrow, it'll be properly dry and I'll be able to sand it down without ripping any of it off. Because if you sand it too quick, then you can just peel it away when you're doing it like so. It's best to let it go off, let it go hard. You probably noticed that I was like brushing up all the little bits and pieces. If you ever use this stuff and that happens, don't be tempted to brush it up and put it back in the tub, because small bits as they are, they dry really quickly, and what you end up getting is hard dry bits mixed in with your filler, whatever you want to call it. So you might pull it out with your scraper or whatever it is you're using, and when you scrape it along, you'll just scratch along the side of the fuselage and it won't lay it down properly. So any little bits like that, just brush them up and chuck them away, because like I say, if you mix them in with that, then you're going to have a whole new ball game to deal with. So anyway, we'll leave that overnight, let it dry completely, and then we'll start sanding it down tomorrow. See you later, boys and girls. Right guys, it's been a few days. I've not been too well, so I've not done, well, I've done a bit more, but it's been a while since I recorded stuff. But anyway, this has now been sanded down, and I don't know if you can see it shiny, probably not. I'm trying to get it to reflect a bit, but it's been sanded down nice, and it's been coated with the wood glue, and it's pretty hard. So I've just got to do the bottom bit. Obviously I couldn't do the bottom while I was doing the sides because it would stick. So yeah, I'm going to give the doghouse another coat of wood glue, this bit here that comes off, and the back here as well, and then basically I'm going to start working on the tail section and the tail boom and whatnot. And again, I'm still winging it, but you can see what happens when I wing it. I'll come out with that. So winging it's working. So to make this easier, let's make sure these LEDs are not flickering on the screen. Nope. To make it easier and quicker, I'm going with the laminated sections and then carving and sanding the tail boom to shape. Now I've got two lots of, these haven't been glued obviously, that's all the rubber. But yeah, I've got two sections of the tail boom. This be the lower section and these be the top section, which is going to be the middle of the boom. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to laminate them together, stick them together like so, so I've got the basic shape. That'll be after I've cut the angle that I need down the side here to get the, and then once that's done, I can glue them on top, because this pretty much stays the same diameter all the way down. The only bit that's different is at the front there where it meets up with the fuselage, but that's going to be on like so. So once that's done, I can get to carving and sanding it, and I'll be able to carve and sand it as it should be to the contours of the back of the fuselage. Now it's going to make life a lot easier, it's going to be quicker, and it's going to help making good content for you, hopefully. Now I've been working on my 3D printer as well. I've been doing some bits and pieces. I've made these two bear paws for the skids, and I've made the T sections as well for the skids by 3D printing them. And yeah, it's coming along. It is coming along. So let me think. Right, I'm going to stick all these together now, and once I've done that, then like I say, I'm going to mark on the top or the bottom of this the angle that this needs to be in comparison to fuselage, and then that'll give me a basis then to start carving it and getting it all to shape and sanding it. And then it'll be fiberglass the same way as the fuselage is, and then this whole section will basically be melted out with what I don't know, probably petrol. But anyway, yeah, that's how it's going to happen. All this will be melted out and it'll just leave me with a fiberglass shell then, hopefully. So let's get a laminating. Right guys, as expected, I've had to do a little bit of packing on this one side here just to get the boom to line up nice and straight, but it's there. I've got to do some cutting on this bottom section here because it's a little bit high up, but I allowed for extra. It's better to have more than not enough. But the doghouse lines up perfectly with where the boom goes. The extra pieces on the side here are good. May need to add a little bit more because I think I've cut the angles a little bit too much, but hey, I'm winging it guys, I'm winging it still. I've only stuck it on with U-Hoop because obviously this is going to come off. But yeah, let's get hacking and carving. So I'll start carving all the crap off it and then I'll come back when a lot of it's done and we'll see how it looks. Right gang, as you can see I've got the tail boom all made up now. I went a different way on this. I was going to make it out of balsa wood, but I ended up making it out of a solid piece of laminated Depron, and I've sanded and carved it into shape. You can see there I've got the filler on it that I've put on. What the plan is basically, because I've made it virtually the same way as the fuselage, what I'll do when it's all sanded down and all to shape and whatnot, again I'll coat it with PVA wood glue because it gives a nice hard finish which will help with the fiberglassing. What I'm going to do, I'm going to fiberglass it into the fuselage, so this will all be literally one piece, everything will be one piece. And then what I'm going to do then once that's done is once the fiberglass is cured, I'm going to cut the tail boom off and then I'll make a lip which will then have fiberglass put over it, which is what the tail boom will slide onto basically. But that way, if I do it like this, it'll just ensure that it'll just mean that everything will be all perfectly in line and in shape with how it should be. So it's coming along quite nicely. I think what I'm going to do now, while I'm waiting for this filler to go off before I can sand it back down again, is I'm going to start making the horizontal stabilisers and the vertical stabiliser as well. So let's put this to one side and then get on with making those, shall we? can see we've got these all cut out now. I've gone for two, obviously single pieces of Depron for the side sections of the fins, but the stabilisers I've basically gone with two sheets which will be laminated together. That's purely and simply because of the thickness that they need to be, and the same for the tail fin as well, the vertical stabiliser, two. Once it's all sanded and shaped as it should be, then that'll be good to go. Now hopefully the filler will be now dry on the tail boom and I can sand that down, and then I can start looking at shaping and sanding these to the right contour and prepping them ready for fiberglass as well. So let's get on with it, shall we? Okay gang, as you can see there, the excuse me, I've sanded the aerofoil section onto the horizontal stabiliser, or one of them. Now, unlike an aeroplane wing that looks like that when you see it, with a flat surface on the bottom and the curved surface on the top, on a helicopter they're actually mounted like that. So you've got like the flatter surface on the top and the curved surface is on the bottom. I'm guessing it's something to do with the lift on the tail regarding the forward flight of the helicopter, but you'd have thought it would have been the other way around, but it isn't. So anyway, I'm going to shape the other one now off camera, and the vertical stabiliser, and then we can coat them with PVA glue as well. The point of the PVA glue, well I say PVA glue is wood glue. The point of the wood glue is to harden the surface of the foam and to give something for the epoxy to wet onto. If I put epoxy resin straight on top of the foam as it is, it would probably dissolve it. I doubt it would, but because it's got no chemicals that would make it dissolve. But it allows the fiberglass to sit on the surface of the area that I'm glassing without it sinking in, because sometimes you have to wet the surface first to let the resin soak in, and then wet it again and start laying your fiberglass down. Well, using the wood glue, it means that I don't have to, you know, wet it first and let it soak in. I can just wet it and start laying the fiberglass straight down. That's the theory. I'm going to start off on something small just to make sure. It'll probably be something like this that I'll do, and then we'll see how it reacts once it cures, and if everything all goes well, then we can continue with the rest of it. But that's a little bit away yet. We've still got some sanding and poop to do, so we'll get on with it, and then we'll probably start the fiberglassing in the next video. Okay gang, I've made this simple template stand, and I've propped the back of the fuselage up so that the tail boom is virtually straight and horizontal in position. And I've roughly just placed this over the top of the actual fuselage itself, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this underneath and place it like so. Now what we've got here is a jig that is perfectly horizontal, because I don't know if any of you guys have ever built scale helicopters. Sometimes getting these excuse me guys, still pretty ill at the moment, trying to get these stabilisers on perfectly angled and perfectly straight can be a pain in the butt. Now what I'm doing is I'm literally lining up, no wonder I can't see, I've got my wrong glasses on, hang on. So what I'm doing is lining these up, put them on the right way first, Robbie Pillock. I've rounded the inside of these off slightly so that they contour to the boom, and then these will be placed on top of here like so, and then glued into place. And then what they'll do is they'll be able to sit perfectly straight on the boom, where I can see that they are perfectly straight as it is. So all I've got to do then is just line up this kind of like way, and then leave them to set, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to do with it afterwards. Right, so I've got it now. These have been glued onto the side of obviously the boom, and I've pinned them down onto the plate that I made, and I can see down now that they are perfectly level with each other. So that's the first stage done. I'm going to leave them to set for about 20 minutes, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to coat just the join section where they are here with wood glue, with the white wood glue on both sides, let it set, and then unpin it, turn it over and do the other side, and then again let it set. And then once it's done that, I can then coat the rest of the fins and let it set. A lot of this is set, and then same on the other side, let it set. And then once it's done, I'm going to cut the tail planes, these stabilisers, whatever you want to call them, about 1/2 inch from the boom on both sides. And then what that'll give me then is a section that will be fiberglass once it's done, that'll be quite strong. And instead of gluing into the side of the boom like you normally get with a recess, I'm going to have sections that will be coming out, and then these will be going into those sections, and being epoxied in that way. It'll make it a much more stronger bond, and then yeah, that's it. But I don't want to do too much damage to these, because I'm going to leave the foam bits in for strength, but I've got to cut a channel down the middle for the navigation lights that come out on the sides here, on both sides. There's a red light, solid light, and green solid light this side, with a white flashing nav light on the side of it. So I've got 3 sets of LEDs that will need to go in through there and up the boom to the control box. And then I've got another LED that will come down the boom here into the vertical stabiliser, with a light on the top of that one as well. So yeah, once all that's done, I'll come back and I'll show you the end result, and then I think I can start then working on the vertical stabiliser section and getting that done, because the vertical stabiliser will be obviously removable because of the tail boom, but I want it so that this whole section here is where the stabiliser, the upright stabiliser, fits to, and also encloses in the tail rotor. You'll get what I'm on about when you see it, guys. So I'll see you in a bit. Right guys, as you can see, I've got the done. Now what I'm doing with these is, if you look, they're not glued in yet, but I'm making tabs that will basically glue in eventually, like so, and that'll hold these nicely in place once these have all been fiberglassed, obviously. But oh, excuse me, I'm going to try and leave this foam section in here, obviously, because it'll help hold these in place. And then what I'm going to do is drill a hole that'll be somewhere like here, somewhere at the thickest part, into the boom on both sides, and that'll allow the wires to pass through then for the LED lights. And the bottom, I'm going to cut a slot down all the way along the length of the actual stabiliser itself on both sides, which will feed the wire through. And then obviously on this side here we're going to have a green LED, and on that side it'll be a red LED and a white flashing LED as well. And then, like I said before, I've got another one that will come all the way up the boom into the vertical stabiliser, which I'm yet to sand down and whatnot and finish. But that'll go into the vertical stabiliser up to the top with a flashing light on there. There'll be other lights on the top of the fuselage and the bottom, as well as a big light at the front. So yeah, and this is how it's coming along. We're not that far away from fiberglassing. I'm going to end the video here now because I'm trying to keep the workload down for me because of my health. I'm really not very good at the moment with my heart. But yeah, I don't know how long this video is going to be. When I upload it, it'll probably be something like 15-20 minutes long. But yeah, thanks for watching guys. I hope you're sticking along with the build. Click down in the comments what colour you think I should put this helicopter in. The most common colour scheme seems to be for this model is like red with the white stars and whatnot, but I want to go for something different. So just put down in your comments, give me some ideas of what colour schemes I can do this in, and then I'll go through everyone's comments and hopefully like I can pick a scheme. Anyway, thanks for watching guys. Click the old like and subscribe button and the notifications bell for more detailed information on this model, and hopefully the next video we'll start finishing off the fins and whatnot, and then we can start fiberglassing it and getting it ready for its final finish. Got to make skids as well, I forgot about them. Oh well, look after yourselves guys, see you later.